Oh boy, this has been a long time coming. Hello everyone, I am Katie, Ace Trainer Katie, but this is not on the Ace Trainer Katie channel. This is on the Ace of Hearts Arts channel. I am going to separate my gaming content from my art content from now on, if possible. So this is something I wanted to do for a while. I've always wanted to do a Meet the Artist meme challenge type thing. I know most people usually do them at the beginning of the year, but this year's basically over for me already anyway, and most people. Anyway, this is my Meet the Artist video. Just a little bit about me. My name is Katie, as you all know. My primary pronouns are she, her for the most part. I am 20 years old, and my birthday is April 29th. Appearance-wise, I'm about 5'3"-ish. I'm a little bit on the shorter side. My hair is a dirty blonde color. My eye color is hard to describe. I've been calling it green-gray because I don't like how generic hazel is, but most people describe my eyes as hazel, but I would describe my eyes as a green-gray personally. Style-wise, I tend to dress pretty comfortably for the most part. I've never really described myself as girly and feminine, but I also wouldn't describe myself as a rough-housing tomboy either. I just prefer loose clothing for the most part. I prefer pants and shorts over dresses and skirts, so a lot of hoodies, a lot of jeans. I like tank tops in the summer and shorts. I wear glasses. I am very nearsighted. My eyesight is absolute garbage. And I have a scar in my right eyebrow. I think I got it when I was about 2 years old from running into the stove. So that was great. That was really smart of 2-year-old me, and now I have a scar forever. I also have a lot of freckle spots on my arms and legs. I think they're sunspots. I'm not really sure what they are though, but I've had them for forever, and I swear every year I get more of them. I have freckles everywhere but my face. I am from the United States. I have never been outside of the United States, but in the United States I have lived in Ohio, which is where I'm originally from, and I've lived in Kentucky and Tennessee as well. I'm not really a religious person, but I am into astrology, and I have an interest in witchcraft, which is something I don't really talk about a lot because I come from a very religious family for the most part. A lot of my family are, the southern United States Christian types, so I don't really talk about that hobby of mine with my family. My astrology birth chart is, my sun is in Taurus, my moon is in Pisces, and my rising sign is in Cancer. So if you know anything about astrology, you can decipher that for yourself. My Myers-Briggs personality type is INFP, and I believe that means I am the mediator. Some things that I like. My favorite animals are cats and raccoons. I've always loved cats growing up, and my obsession with raccoons came more recently. My favorite band is Fall Out Boy. My favorite show at the moment is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I recently got into JoJo's earlier this year, and it has taken over my life. My favorite video game franchise is probably Pokemon. Is the obvious one. That's where I got the Ace Trainer Katie username from, was the Pokemon games. And my first OC was actually inspired by the Ace Trainer sprite from Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2. I love art, I love talking about art, I love learning new things about art. My favorite food are probably sweet food, but not so much candy. Aside from chocolate, I've never been a fan of the artificially flavored candies that just don't taste like the actual fruit that they're based on. I would much rather have actual fruit than have fruit-flavored candy. And I really love my friends, too. My friends are the most important thing to me in the world. My favorite colors, I like blue, and I like purple, and I like black. And that's very obvious if you look at some of my OCs. My two main OCs are Ace and Dubs, and they are very heavily drawn in blue and purple and black. Those are their main color schemes. Some things I dislike. I don't dislike a lot of things, but I do dislike bugs for the most part. I've never been a fan of bugs ever. I'm actually kind of terrified of most bugs. If I see one outside, I'll leave them alone because, you know, outside is their domain, that's where they live. But if I see one in my house that's like in my domain, that's when I show no mercy to them. Their biggest mistake is coming into my domain. Don't really hate a lot of music, but if I had to pick one genre of music I don't like, it would probably be country music. I also generally tend to avoid big fandoms just because the more people in a fandom there are, the more toxic it seems to be. Like, there's more drama, there's more discourse, and I'm honestly not about that life. If I like something, I don't want to get involved in the negative aspects of it. My least favorite type of food is probably bitter food. I don't see the appeal in bitter food. I know a lot of people like bitter food, but I'm honestly just not about that life. I also don't like mean people, but I feel like that's a given. Most people generally don't like mean people. If I had to pick one fictional character I feel like I relate to the most, I would have to say probably Josuke Higashikata from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. And probably because, much like Josuke, I just want to hang out with my buds and maybe stop a serial killer, why not? And speaking of, I really have this weird interest in spooky things like true crime and the supernatural, ghosts, aliens, that type of stuff. I don't necessarily believe in the supernatural, but like I'm 90% sure that aliens are real, whereas I'm the opposite with ghosts. I'm like 10% sure that ghosts are real, but like 90% sure that ghosts aren't. But really, who can say? It's just one of those things that we don't really have any scientific evidence of and probably won't, but you know, there's no definitive answer to that. I also watch a lot of YouTube. Some of my favorite YouTubers, I really like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie. Those are the big three that basically almost everyone I know watches them or watched them at one point. Some smaller YouTubers I really like. I like a lot of artist YouTubers. I like Creepshow Art. I like the Zodiac Lord. Leslie Lou Marie is a big one. She taught me everything I know about Fire Alpaca, so I owe my life to her pretty much. Twisted Disaster is another one. I really like watching her storytime speed paints. And technically not like visual art, but Nate Wants to Battle has always been one of my biggest YouTube inspirations. I've been watching him since middle school, pretty much, like 2012-ish. But yeah, lots of YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't really watch TV that much. Like I mentioned before, currently my favorite show is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but as a kid I really liked Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's got a resurgence in popularity recently because they added it to Netflix. I never really got into Korra, but that's because at the time that show aired I didn't have cable, but now that it's on Netflix I've been watching it and I really enjoy it. I don't necessarily like Korra as a character too much, but some of the side characters are probably some of my favorite characters. I really like Bolin as a character. He's just really... Is himbo the right term? I believe himbo's the right term. I don't really know what else to talk about. There's not really much about me that I think is too interesting. But this was my Meet the Artist video. I hope you learned a little bit about me, and if you would like to be friends, I'm taking applications for friends. You must like the above mentioned stuff, especially JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and you must not be a mean person. Alright, I'm gonna end this video now. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully you will stick around in my art adventures. Goodbye!